All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music and real lawsuits. And this time it's Motley Crue, and doing it in real time for real people, just like you right there, just like me right here. All right, before I get going, quick shout out to this band here. This is Allocate and their album, which is called Butterfly. It's not a wimpy album, all right, just because of the artwork and the title. No, this is a real rock album for real people. These guys are fantastic. They're from Sweden. They've been around for a while, but they really made this great album last year that you should check out, and check out all their material. Allocate, Alicate. It's not spelled the traditional way. You know what's getting traditional, though? Lawsuits, rock bands and lawsuits. Mick Mars has sued Motley Crue over tour profits. Says all of Nikki Sixx's bass tracks on the stadium tour were pre-recorded. Now, Motley Crue has blasted the lawsuit and say it's unfortunate and completely off base. Anyway, Motley Crue guitarist Mick Mars has sued his bandmates, claiming they are ripping him off financially. Mick Mars could be the Steve Perry of Motley Crue. He should probably get on the phone with Steve and get some of Steve's legal team in on this if he really wants to have a golden parachute. Mars, whose real name is Robert Allen Deal, announced in October that he was retiring from touring with Motley Crue due to his ongoing painful struggle with a type of arthritis that causes inflammation and also in his joints and ligaments and can lead to stiffness over time. But in his lawsuit, which was obtained by TMZ, the 71-year-old says he made it clear he could still record with the band or do limited performances, but he just couldn't handle a full tour with his condition. Now, a couple weeks ago, it was revealed, I think, by Vinny Appice, who is a drummer, famous drummer, who apparently is a friend with Mick Mars, that Mick was very disgusted with the stadium tour and said there was a lot of fakery going on. Mars' lawsuit, which was filed Thursday in LA County Superior Court, states that his bandmates held an emergency shareholders meeting to throw him out of Motley Crue. Where have we heard this before? And then strip him of his shares in the corporation that manages the group's business interests. Now, you imagine you start a rock band like, 50 years ago or something, 41, 42 years ago, and here you are in LA Superior Court. I mean, it's just bizarre. When you think of it, you know, these musicians, they get together because they love music at the beginning of it, and maybe they want to be famous, and then this. The corporation. Everything's a corporation. Man, our society is just turning into something that's just not recognizable. So you get the guys in Journey suing each other. You get the guys in Motley Crue suing. So in the lawsuit, Mick says Motley Crue cut his percentage of profits from 25% to 5% after he announced he was stepping back from the tour. Furthermore, he claims the band's lawyers made him feel like he should be grateful for even that small cut because they didn't feel they owed him anything at all. Mick also claims there was a full band meeting and they decided to unilaterally remove him from Motley Crue. Sounds like Mick Mars should call Neal Schon and they can have kind of like a coping session, you know, find out what it's like to be thrown out of the band that you founded, you know. Mick also repeatedly accused bassist Nikki Sixx of gaslighting about his guitar skills diminishing, despite the fact that Sixx didn't play a single note on bass during a recent tour. Wow. That's according to Mick Mars. Mick claims all of Nikki's parts were pre-recorded. See, and for all you guys out there arguing, yeah, well, you know, everybody's doing it. This is like my kid, you know. Dad, everybody's throwing rocks through the window. Can I do it? No. Well, everybody's using tracks. Yeah, so I'm paying what, $300 for this ticket, and you're gonna pipe in everything. Yeah, I'll go home and listen to my CD, or watch a video from 1987. I mean, there's got to be some good content already loaded on multiple platforms, and I can do it, in the comfort of my own home without being assaulted by Tommy Lee and his private parts, too. It's another thing. The society has just become too soft. Okay, Tommy Lee. Probably not a great choice of words either there. Anyway, that's him, not me. Six made it clear to Mars that he believed that the 5% offer was a generous one, and that Mars, after 41 consecutive years with the band, did not deserve anything going forward. Mick's lawyers wrote in the filing, Six further gaslighted Mars. I like how they're using the term gaslighted. It's very interesting. Because that's a term that the media tends to not like, because that's what the media does constantly. Anyway, Six further gaslighted Mars by severely criticizing his performances on the US tour and exclaimed that there is no way that the band could tour with Mars anymore. Really? Well, why not just pipe in all of Mick's guitar parts? I mean, if you're doing it on bass, why can't you do the guitar stuff too? Well, that'd be more noticeable than the bass. Maybe. But, again, if you're going to critique Mick Mars and you're not playing the bass, you probably should shut up. You probably should, just kind of move along like that doesn't exist. Like that piece of information, if I talk about it, I'm going to expose it. Thus, maybe it's not good for the future of Motley Crue. I know John 5 is there. So, John 5 is a great guitarist. I imagine he's playing all of the material himself. Let's hope that he is. But there's a good chance that Nikki Six is not. By the way, Mars also claims that Six would make band decisions without telling the other musicians, and would ask his bandmates to sign documents immediately on Fridays at 5 p.m. That is like the oldest trick in the book when you want to dump information on the general public. Friday at 5 o'clock, we're going to release this information about nuclear war. It'll come out at 5 on Friday when everybody's, doing their it's 5 o'clock somewhere routine, because it will be. Anyway, how did Mars Brothers of 41 Years respond to Mick's tragic announcement about quitting the road? Asks the suit, according to Variety. They noticed an emergency shareholders meeting, or they held, I don't know why they say noticed, but they held an emergency shareholders meeting for the band's main corporate entity in order to throw Mars out of the band, to fire him as a director of the corporation, to fire him as an officer of the corporation, and to take away his shares of the corporation. Wow. These guys are brothers, aren't they? I mean, this is so ridiculous when it gets to this point. When he did not go away quietly, that's Mars, they reported or purported to fire him from 6 additional band corporations and LLCs. Oh, this is like Journey Redux, folks. The suit contends during much of the band's recent tenure, Six gaslighted Mars by telling him that Mars had some sort of cognitive dysfunction and that his guitar playing was subpar, claiming that Mars forgot chords and sometimes started playing the wrong songs. Okay, well, that's fine. At least he's trying. Even if it's true, at least he's playing it. Although Mars had indicated that the 12 U.S. stadium dates would be his last shows while touring, the 12 anticipated shows ultimately expanded to 36, and Mars performed at every single one of them in constant pain. See, this is interesting too. So the guy, he's suffering from this weird form of arthritis, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Get out of the way, Mick. Six's gaslighting came to a crescendo during the stadium tour when he, knowing that this was Mars' last tour as a result of his increasing painful and debilitating ailments, and apparently already plotting to force him out of the band and take his shares, repeatedly told Mars that he was playing the wrong chords and that fans were complaining about his playing. Wow, this is crazy. This is just, This is kind of right up there with Journey. It's not as back and forth litigious yet, but it looks like it could be. Astonishingly, Six made these claims about Mars playing while he, Six, did not play a single note on bass. So even it says here, a significant portion of Vince Neal's vocals were also pre-recorded. Even some of Tommy Lee's drum parts were recordings. Some fans actually noticed that Lee was walking toward his drum set as they heard his drum part begin. And there's video of that. All right, so you get the point here. So, again, if you're going to go see Kiss or Motley Crue, maybe even Journey, I'm not saying everybody in Journey is getting some help, but it appears that Motley Crue is mostly pre-recorded. That's what it appears here. And, maybe Mick Mars wasn't playing his best, but he was playing. He was playing along to the pre-recorded music of Motley Crue. And that's got to be kind of a pain, right? Every night. There's no band chemistry. It's just like a show. It's like make-believe. It's karaoke. It's fancy karaoke, right? So anyway, pretty litigious stuff here. Mick Mars, does he deserve more than 5%? Probably. He did walk away from it, and now he's throwing stones. If he had played nice with them, and maybe if he didn't open his mouth about all this stuff, they may have given him a few more percentage points as far as his retirement. But notice that there's a trend with all these guys who are in rock bands. Like, they make all this money, and they still have no money. Because if they had money, they wouldn't be so concerned with getting this golden parachute at the end. Ross Valerie, Steve Smith, why were they so concerned? Hey, cut us into this deal. Steve Perry got it. Well, that was a very special circumstance with Steve Perry. It seems to be a thing like, hey, these guys are going to keep playing and I want my portion. Now, I don't know what 5% is, and I don't know if that goes on in perpetuity or if that gets reduced over time. I'm thinking that 5% might be okay to retire on. These guys are going to make a ton of money. People are going to continue to go see this band, regardless of how fake it is. You can put it out there. There are people that have video footage of the drums starting before Tommy Lee gets behind the drum kit. And right there, you just know. You just know this is fake. So anyway, folks, this is a long haul from the 1980s and when this band was in their prime. And it's really sad. Maybe they should have stayed retired. They said we weren't going to do this anymore back in 2014. They come back for this stadium tour because the money is just so good. And they're the worst band on the stadium tour. They were the worst band. And it really wasn't even close. They should have been the opening band. They should have had that other unknown band be after Motley Crue and then Poison and then Def Leppard. That would have probably been the appropriate order of things. But, they had the documentary, which again was more about debauchery and all the crazy stuff they did back in the day. And then you had the Tommy Lee Pam thing, which Pamela Anderson has come out and absolutely excoriated what was going on in that as mostly fantasy, but people, again, they want make-believe. That's why they don't care about if the bass is real or if it's fake, Anyway, folks, another litigious situation that I will be following. Here is Allocate Butterfly. Check it out. Great band from Sweden. There is a lot of great music that comes out of Sweden that nobody hears about because, you're not going to get iHeartRadio or, XM, Sirius XM to create a melodic rock station where they play the best of the new stuff and the best of the old stuff. And there's a lot of great new stuff out there. People have thanked me for continuing to promote this stuff. And I've got more coming. It's going to be great. Revolution Saints coming soon. I've got it. I've heard it. It's better than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that. I didn't like the first couple of singles. Those songs have grown on me a bit, and the rest of it, I think, is going to be good for a lot of people. I think a lot of fans of Rev Saints and Dean Castronovo and even Journey or Whitesnake, you guys are going to like it. So that's my take on that. I'll probably do a full video on the Revolution Saints. In the meantime, folks, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please. I need subscribers. Watch the videos, put them on repeat play, get notifications so you know when I drop a new video. I'm also doing these podcasts now, which has been a lot of fun because I tend to be a little less concerned about what I look like when I'm filming, because I can just sort of mouth off and, you know, put my elbow on the counter and just relax a little bit. But yeah, and also YouTube memberships. If you want to sign up for that, you want to support this channel, keep me going here as we've got a new lawsuit and a new drama, which will unfold and just pretty much prove that all the old stuff, it's going away. It's falling apart and then it's going away. Or it's going away as it falls apart. Journey, we'll see what happens with that. It's interesting, but I have a feeling Journey's going to keep going. Maybe slightly different, but we'll see. It seems like the guys are kind of getting along right now. It'd be cool if some of those lawsuits would get dropped and they would just understand that if they want the corporation to continue and they want fans to show up, they have to put their politics aside and all their other weird, I don't know, idiosyncrasies. Certain wives might need to not be so visible, but that's another video. All right, before I ramble too far, I'm done. Thanks again. See you soon.